Did you remember that?
Live in here.
I did last night.
Oh.
Okay. All right, cool. So guys, thanks for jumping on. We'll just kind of keep watching this as more people come in. Appreciate this. I have no idea. We're going to do this every week. We're going to do this every Tuesday in the Freedom Team group. Okay. We'll do a training of some sort. Some of them might be 15, 20 minutes with a lot of Q&A. Some of them might go for, a full hour, whatever we have it scheduled for an hour, but want this to be, interactive. As much as possible, really focused on just, real estate production and how to get you guys, to whatever level you want to get to with your real estate. We're all going to have different goals, different things we want to do. There's really no better way we could have started this, I think, with Aaron, getting us going here. I've known Aaron. Aaron and I met back through Craig Proctor's program. When I first started real estate, the very first Craig Proctor conference I went to, Aaron was there. And we both joined the coaching program, and that's where we met. And, I was part of that for 9 years. Aaron was part of it for a long, long time. I think even past that. And actually became a coach with Craig for a while, did that, but has built a phenomenal business. He was at Keller Williams for a long time. In 2009, started his own brokerage down there in Texas, Kinn Real Estate Group, and they've done phenomenal. So I've seen Aaron do this training before, and I thought this would be a great way to kick this off. It's basically a training on how he is able to sign up, him and his team able to sign up just, almost 100% of the buyer prospects that they meet with. He's got a whole program that he does with buyers and stuff we learned through Craig. A lot of it's stuff that he's implemented on his own for sure, but really, really phenomenal stuff. So just this year, he was telling me they've had 51 buyers that have closed so far this year. Got another 3 months to go for about 20 million in volume. They've done 30 million altogether. So really 2/3 of his business has come through buyers. And, I'm guessing a big chunk of that has come through what you're going to see, right here. So anyway, if you have a lot of noise in the background, that's not many people do, just keep yourselves muted. If you have questions along the way, you can put them in the chat. Okay. Or go ahead and ask him. We'll keep this interactive. We'll see how that works. If you need to stop him along the way, is that cool with you, Aaron? If they have a question, they can just kind of jump in and do it. Is that good?
The only thing is I don't see chat in one of the actions down on the bottom.
You know what?
So
I might have that shut off. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I got to figure out. That's in my settings. My bad. I'll figure that out for next week. I think I have the chat shut off in this, so my bad. So you won't be able to do any chats, but you can ask a question. Okay. Just raise your hand or whatever, or just jump in, and we can open it up for questions at the end for sure. But also, if you have questions along the way, feel free to just jump in. Hey, Aaron, quick question. And just pop it out there. Okay. So with that. Aaron, go ahead. Thanks for
doing it. Yeah. So this is what I do on every buyer appointment. My team is in here too, so they're getting trained as well on this. But what I want to go through is basically how I think we should work with a buyer. I think we have a misrepresentation in our community of real estate agents that buyers are liars. We've all heard that saying, and I think that's absolutely incorrect. I think buyers are liars if they don't feel like you're committed to them and they're not committed to you, then yeah, they're going to look for the best opportunity. But if you provide them good quality information, and it's about education to build that know, like, and trust factor. And I think a lot of us want to skip forward to just get them in the houses, which is a mistake. I feel like if my first meeting with a buyer face-to-face is at a house, I am much less likely to get them to sign a buyer rep agreement than if I meet them face-to-face through a Zoom or at a Starbucks. So this isn't a conversion call like how we convert them from the phone to the appointment. This is once we have the appointment, where do we want it? Number one, we want it at a neutral location, whether that be Zoom or whether that be a Starbucks, coffee house, McDonald's, any place that doesn't have wait staff. Because if you have wait staff like a Chili's or an Applebee's or something like that, they're constantly interrupting you for soda, and it just is disjointed and what have you. So I always feel like the best is a neutral location where I'm not going to be interrupted, but I can utilize their services like Wi-Fi if I absolutely need to. Now I do this completely analog. It's all based on this buyer booklet that we have, and I'm going to share this into the Facebook group. And exactly how we use it. Basically, it's printed off. It's 8 pages. My representation agreement is on the back. we're going to go through this and exactly how we do it. I used to use, like Craig Proctor was ahead of his time and doing presentations on laptops. And I started out doing this on a laptop. And what I found was it's too hard to get your computer out, right? And it just looks intimidating to a buyer, especially a first-time buyer. Holy cow, I've got this, fancy computer and all this, and I think the same way goes for state forms. Like in the state of Texas, we have a buyer representation form. It's like 5 pages of all legal mumbo jumbo, and it scares people. It freaks them out. So what I like to do instead is this booklet, and it's easy to get them to sign because it's a 1-pager, and 99% of the information on this form is all about them, and asks very little from me or them to me. So it's very easy to get them to sign these documents and then move forward with them as a buyer. Now, the process behind this, or why we do it, is we want this signed because when they're going into new home communities or they're talking to other agents, because they're going to call other agents. Your buyers are just going to do that. No matter how many times you talk to them, they're going to go out looking on their own. They're going to look at Zillow and Redfin. They're going to go to new home communities. And if they have never signed anything with you, if that other agent is good, they will ask this question. Even if they say, yeah, I'm working with an agent. Well, have you signed with that agent? Because if you haven't signed anything, we can still help you as a buyer, right? How do I know other agents that are good ask this question? Because I asked this question. And I've, unfortunately, and not to say I did anything bad, but I've poached other buyers from agents that weren't doing their job because they were frustrated or irritated and they didn't sign something, right? Could this hold up in a court of law, and does it have any teeth as far as law goes? No. But it has teeth in the mind of the buyer saying, yes, I have signed something with an agent. When that question is asked, yes, it's answered, then the agent will step down, or the new home rep will be like, okay, who is it? So you can put your information. I've got 2 or 3 contracts this year where I never went to the builder. I didn't even know my buyer was going to the builder. And I got signed on a contract for a $400,000 house. Not a bad way to make 10 or 12 grand, right? So let's go through the buyer packet itself. I'm going to share my screen here, so I don't know what it's going to do to your screen, but can everybody see it? Yay, nay? Okay. So basically, like I said, it's a 8-page packet printed on both sides. And I always, when I'm meeting with them, I have 2 of these packets. I always have it folded out to where this is the page that is showing to the buyer, okay? And it's showing to me. So I have a pen handy, something to write down with, and I'm going to take notes. Why I think this is important is they can see that, hey, I'm really interested in them. Obviously, when I meet them at the Starbucks, we're going to go through pleasantries. Hi, how are you? All that stuff. But the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this form, going through and asking them all of these questions. The reason why I do this, again, I seem highly interested. And if they've ever met with another agent, I seem much different than what they've met. They've probably met with somebody at a house that showed them a house or 2, but they didn't provide them any real value. So what this is to provide them information, provide them value, show them why we are different and why they need our representation in the process, right? So first thing we do, simple, easy, go through name, their best phone number. I try to get as many as I can. What is your current home address? The reason I need this is if we do find a home, the title companies are going to need to communicate with you. Now, this is a great way to get their address. Do I really need it for this purpose? No, but I want it so I can market to them over time. If they aren't responding to emails and texts, we'll send them physical mail, right? So email address, we want as many as we've got. So we can communicate MLS listings or whatnot for them and set up a private search. So we go into this, we're setting up a private search. It's going to get you all the properties within seconds of them hitting the MLS. We'll also get you for sale by owners, distressed sales, and company-owned properties. Well, the cool thing about our MLS is it lists coming soon properties. It lists distressed sales, bank foreclosures, which there aren't very many these days. And I use the red X to find for sale by owners. So that's a way you can get them for sale by owners as well. So we go into what are you looking for in your ideal home? Now, when we talk about what are you looking for in your ideal home, what we want is we want exactly the kind of home you want as minimums. Okay, do you minimally need in a home for you to purchase it? So you may be in dream mode and say, I want 5 bedrooms, but you'll realistically take 4, right? Or you may say, hey, I want 2,500 square feet, but you could deal with 1,800. So we always start with minimums first, and then we can build the dream on top of this. So I always ask for 2 numbers on these. When we're talking about bedrooms, what's your minimum bedrooms? And I fill it in. And now if you had your ideal house and it's your dream house, what would you want in your dream house bedrooms? And I get that number. The reason why I ask both ways is now I can find their minimal home and I can build their dream. And if I can find a house that matches 7 out of 10 points on their dream home, I can get them to move forward on that home. And this helps me with ammunition when I'm actually showing them properties, because I can say, hey, we've got 7 out of 10 of your ideal dream home. The likelihood of us getting 10 out of 10 and staying in your price point is very low. So 7 out of 10 is pretty good. And this home meets that criteria. And again, that's after you learn your client. Now, when we get to square footage, I always want to start with minimum. And then let's say they say 1,800 is my minimum square footage. So if I found a home that was 1,795 square feet, you wouldn't want to see it. That's my next question. Well, and a lot of times we're like, well, we'd probably take that, depending on how it's arranged. Okay, so let's drop that down to 1,700 then instead of 1,800. And again, this is all questions and it's banter back and forth. What you're doing is establish a relationship before you go in for the kill and get them to sign something. Garage spaces, same thing. Dining rooms, living rooms. Is there any certain kind of property type, single family, condo, townhome? Most of our area, 90% of our area is single family. There's very few condos and townhomes, but we still ask the question, what do you need in a lot size? Now, this is subjective for us. So I always talk like this. Hey, this is a subjective thing. Sometimes we have to rely on the agents that are entering the information into our MLS system. And some of the agents are very lazy and they don't enter this correctly. They don't enter it at all. So it could be a half acre. And if it's not entered, it's going to isolate it from your search and you'll never see that house. So this is more for my information of what kind of lot size you're looking for and why, than it is what we realistically should set up on a search. Then we talk about price range, minimum and max. And the same thing, I always counsel them and say, hey, I'm never going to push you above your maximum. Okay. I know that's where your budget is, but what is your maximum in actual qualification? Because that's sometimes for people, that's much, much different. And then I start approaching hey, have you been qualified for a loan yet? Now, not all the time do I ask for qualification standards before we set up an appointment. If they're calling on a $500,000 house or interested in a $500,000 house when they come into our website, realistically, most of the times they're going to be able to afford a home. So I'm not going to push on the mortgage thing until I'm face to face. Because what I know is if I try to push on that, that's a hurdle they may not want to jump over and they're not going to show up for my appointment. Okay, so I kind of use my best judgment on loans when it comes to that. Again, I'm going to ask this. One thing that is not in here that we've been getting more and more recently is age of home. So if I had to change this form, I've got like 1,000 of these printed up, so I'm not changing it till those are close to being run out, but I just added in on the margins. And I draw and write all over this dang thing. I mean, it looks like a Picasso painting by the time I'm done with it. So I'm making notes in the margins, what have you, because I don't want them to think I'm not writing down information they're saying. So if it doesn't fit in a blank, it's going to fit somewhere on here. And then I always pull up a second one and say, hey, don't worry, you got your own copy that's clean. You don't have to read my chicken scratch. Plus, if you need any of this information when you leave, you've got it here in front of you. Special features would be things like, I will not buy this house unless it has a gas cooktop or granite countertops or one of the 1,200 searchable features in our MLS. I make them give me a couple because everybody is different. I need an open floor plan or, I want to have split bedrooms, one bedroom on one side, or I want to have a bi-level, or those don't exist here in Texas, but I know they do in other states. Or I want to have a basement. We don't have basements, so you're out of luck here. You move to another state if you want a basement. So special features are things that they realistically want in a home and in their dream home. And then location, I'm focused on not only cities, but school districts, areas from where they work. And if they say, hey, we don't want to drive further than 30 minutes from our work. Oh, really? Where do you work? Okay, give me that address. Now, this is important because we can love on them once we get them under contract or what have you. You can send them cookies or flowers to their office. What's a better way to get referrals than when they get something at their office address and 50 of their employees see that, why the heck did you get cookies? Oh, we went under contract on our house, our realtor sent us this, whatever. It's a great way to create conversation with others outside of this. But anyways, try to get as many addresses as you can. So we get all the information on the home and said, okay, I got a great idea of what you're looking for in a house. Is there anything I didn't ask you about on a home that you think I should have and we need to include on this form? Sometimes that will go into age of home, or we don't want any fixer-uppers, or we want this thing turnkey ready, what have you. So that gives them some freedom to ask me some questions or provide me information. Then I'm going to go into these 16 questions. What's the most important thing for you buying a home? I ask until I get 3 things. Now, this isn't things like, oh, I already told you I want 3 bedrooms or 1,200 square feet or whatever that number is. This is, I want security, safety. I want to be close to schools. I want to be close to a park, pond, water, what have you, right? This is, why are they really buying a house? Or why are they moving from the house they own to finding a new one? And then 2 is a timing question. When do you want to move? So by the time I'm done with this, I've established what kind of home, what their motivation is, what their timing is, and then how I can speed that up. And I'll show you in just a minute. Number 3, do you own or are you renting? I might already have this information, but I'm going to re-ask it. This number 4 and 5 are, if they lease or if they own. Number 6, can you buy before your lease expires? Did you know that we can actually negotiate with your landlord and get that paid for by the seller of the home that you're buying? There's simple ways to do that in a contract to where we can get the seller to pay for your reletting fee. If that was the case, would you move out of that lease earlier than 10 months that you have left on it? And then whoever talks first loses. So I wait for them to answer. And I will sit there for a long time. And then number 7, how long have you been looking at homes? Have you been inside any homes? We have Open Door in our area where all you have to do is have the app and you can go in Open Door homes. A lot of people have met with other agents before they ever meet with you. So this is an important question to ask. Have you made any offers? Now, if they've made offers, the likelihood of them having signed a buyer's rep agreement is pretty strong, at least in our area. So I always want to know this, because then I can come back and say, I know you've made an offer before. A lot of times agents require you to have a buyer rep when you make that offer. Is there any way that you can get out of that? Or why aren't you still working with that agent so we can help you? Right? Because we realistically can't do anything if you're under contract with someone else. We can continue forward today and show you everything that we do that may be different. And then you can make the decision whether you would rather work with us or the other agent. But I don't want to steal away business in a good relationship. How much do you have available for down payment and closing costs? I don't want to pry into your financial situation. Please, that's for your lender. But I need to know, kind of what you're looking at as far as down payment, closing costs, what you're going to be able to pull out of your pocket when we're looking at homes. If you tell me you want to look at $400,000 homes and you only have $2,000 in the bank, I'm going to say that's going to be tough because you're not a veteran and we can't get you 100% financing. So how are we going to make this work? Are you going to get a gift? So on and so forth. What would you like your payments to be? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Sometimes we get people, I want a $500,000 home. I got 10 grand to put down and I want my payments to be $1,500 a month. Well, those numbers don't work. So we're going to have to work backwards and see what you could actually afford, or it might be the time to get together with a lender. Number 12 is one of the most important questions. When is the most convenient times for you and I to look at homes together? Would that be mornings, evenings? Is there certain days of the week that you're off? Are you available all the time? Do you work from home? All that stuff. Again, so every one of these questions may have one or two extra questions, and typically they're why questions. Why is that? What does that mean to you? You know, how would that make you feel? Those kind of things to get a little bit deeper, right, on why they're actually doing this. And they don't know that we're on the back page is my buyer representation agreement, because this is on the page right before it, right? And I have it opened up to this. And that's the very last thing I do. So just so I have a better idea on a scale of 1 to 10, meaning 1 meaning you're in no particular hurry, and 10 meaning you need to move yesterday. Where are you in this process? Most of the time, you're going to get somewhere between 5 and 7. If you get anything close to 8 to 10, you should be under contract with that person within the next couple of weeks at least. Then I was asked, what would it take for you to get to 10? Because they may tell you something when you ask this question that they didn't tell you before. Like, you know, my divorce isn't final till February, right? Well, I didn't ask anything about a divorce, but they're now going to tell me because I've invested 10 or 15 minutes into them, right? Most people go in for the kill with buyers too soon. And that's why buyers do become liars, because they have no trust, faith, confidence, and you really didn't provide any value yet. And then number 16, so to recap, you'd like to be moved in by X. And I always ask at this point, if we could wave a magic wand and get you into a home, when would be the perfect thing? And the magic wand takes away everything, you know, anything from divorce, like we said before, or financial constraints, or leases, things like that. If we could wave that magic wand and say, you're in a house in X, what would that date be? And they may say December or before Christmas or New Year's for sure, you know? So then we know kind of timing wise what we have, because they're going to be a little bit skittish here when you ask it in 2, but you're going to go into such detail. By 16, asking the same question in a different way, they're going to be more likely to give you the correct answer. We do the same thing on our qualifications on the phone. The first time you ask a question, it's going to be very general. The second time you ask it in a different way, they're going to get more specific on it, right? So you always want to kind of form your questions 2 different ways for the same answer, because the second one's always going to be more accurate. So once we're done with this questionnaire, I basically ask, is there any questions that you have over here that I maybe didn't ask that I should have? And typically by this, they're like, holy cow, no, this is way more than we thought anybody was going to ask, or we've been asked before. I say, awesome. So now we've got all this handled. I know exactly what you're looking for. I know what your timing looks like. I know what kind of home. I know we can find that kind of home in here. Even if it's like a unicorn that they're looking for, I always say, I know we can find you the home you're looking for. Because I want them to go in with full confidence that I'm going to find them what they want, right? So I always say that. And I say, hey, now that we've spent some time on you, can I spend just like 5 or 10 minutes on us and what makes us a little bit different, and why you should use us to help you find the perfect home and represent you in that process. And when you ask it like that, I have never had anybody say, no, I don't want to know anything else. Nope, I'm not sold on you. Because I've just invested 10, 15, 20 minutes on them. However long this process takes, some people are high eyes and it takes 20 or 30 or 40 minutes. On this page, I will invest it, because then I get to talk about me and what we can do. And we got darn near 100% chance to sign them to a buyer rep. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing here, and then you guys can ask any questions if you have any at all. And then I'll go through the rest of the booklet.
Good stuff. Who's got a question so far? Anybody?
Hey, Aaron, this is Ron.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, so my question is more towards, do you have any bidding wars going on where you're at right now? And if you do you have any tips that you could win the offers?
Yeah, every listing pretty much has a bidding war. That's almost another video in itself, or training in itself. But I'd say there's several things. It all comes down to money. How fast can you close? So you have to have a good lender that can close fast. Are they willing to give a lease back? And sometimes a lengthy lease back for free or little money. So where the seller would actually stay in the home after closing. Increasing earnest money. Our typical earnest money here is 1%. I always try to make it 2%. Same with option money, typical options, $300 to $500. I always try to double that, lower the inspection times, make the buyer pay for everything. Title policy, survey, home warranty. I try to lean the contract totally into the seller side. And then we also do what we call love letters. I've got about 20 different versions of love letters I send to my clients. They can pick one they want to copy or formulate their own off of that. Always include a picture. I know this is kind of gray and some states don't allow this, but I always embed it in my offer, because this is the first thing that, like, if I'm a listing agent, I strip out the love letter or the emotional letter because I don't want to create emotion in a transaction. But if I'm on the buyer side, I want to create emotion, because if I can create emotion between that seller and that offer, I have a better chance than that seller and just words on a piece of paper or numbers on a piece of paper or offer forms. So I always try to create emotion through that love letter and then attaching a picture to that.
Cool.
Good question.
Hey, Aaron,
Thank you.
going back to, you mentioned, can you talk about how you would get somebody, let's say they had 6 months left on a lease, and so they can move. How would you write that into the contract where you get the sellers to pay off that difference?
So that's where it's a little harder in today's market because of just how fast everything is.
Right.
But basically, we would have an improved price. Let's say it's a $300,000 home, $300,000 listing, and there's a $1,500 reletting fee. So we would move the price up to like 3,015, and then include the $1,500 as a seller paid closing cost. And then that $1,500 basically makes it $1,500 cheaper for them to get into the home that they can utilize to pay off their own lease.
Right. Okay.
Same way they can pay me extra commission. So like I see it a lot today that, you know, listings are stating in the MLS, oh, we're only giving 2% or 2.5%, or heaven forbid 1%, or I've seen $500, right? Well, what they're offering on the MLS should have no bearing on what you earn. Your earning potential is what you negotiate directly with your buyer, right? So that's a conversation when you're making that offer, and you know, say, oh, they're only offering 2%. So I go back to my buyer, hey, unfortunately, there's a deficiency in our fee. You agree to pay us 3%, and they're only offering 2%. So there's 1% deficiency. How do you want to handle that? Do you want me to? I can do it a couple different ways. I can ask the seller to pay for it, or you can pay for it on the HUD. And then how we would handle that, same way as we'd ask for it in seller paid closing costs. Or if we get them under contract, we go back, increase the price, ask for a $2,000 bonus or whatever it is. You know, so
you guys all
there's a lot of ways to work that.
That's important. I learned that back with Craig. Like, you know, what's posted on the MLS is not your fee. It's what they're going to pay you. Your fee as a buyer's agent is what you negotiate between you and the buyer. Yeah,
many times we get we always get a $395 transaction fee. Yeah. I mean,
well, I'm sorry. And that's those rules are state specific. In Colorado, you have to declare that on the agency agreement you have with your buyer. So always do that. If you're in Colorado, there's two boxes you can check. One box you check, you cannot do that. So be aware.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously go within your state law. I only know Texas, but go within what your state allows. But I know there's many agents that will tell me that's not right here, because there's many times I've made 10 or 12 grand on a house and that agent made 3 because they only took a 1% listing, and, you know, they were paying out 2, but I got my buyer to pay 3, you know, so that's legal. That's a negotiation between me and my buyer. Same thing on the seller side. Just because you list a home for 6% doesn't mean you have to give out 3 and take 3. Most of the times I only give out 2.5 and I take 3.5. Is that wrong of me? No. When agents get mad, oh, we didn't make as much money. Well, good. I can actually teach you how to make more money per transaction. You know, why don't you talk to me about EXP or your team, you know, or join in our team. In
this market, do you think it's a better idea to talk about increasing the commission or something up front before showing the property, or just Okay.
We always talk about the commission at the time when we do this, when we do the buyer rep, and I'll show you at the very end.
Okay.
We always talk about the commission at that point. I always tell people I'm not going to ask you to pay my fee. I never let my commission get in the way of getting a transaction done. That's a great line. You want to steal that one? It's awesome because it puts the buyer at ease. I'm never going to ask you ever to pay for my fee, but I want the opportunity to earn my fee. Okay. So please allow me the opportunity to earn my fee, but I'm never going to let my fee get in the way of getting the deal done, period. You're always going to be at the forefront of getting the house, and that's where my concern is.
I've had that happen before where it's like, okay, I'm going to take a hit here. And we've run into a jam here. There's no way to get this done. So here's what we'll do. I'll tell you, I'll go ahead and eat it. We're going to lose money on this deal. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, with all the stuff that we're doing, but after we close, as long as I do the job that you think I should do and get you in there, could you send me 2 good referrals sometime in the next 6 months? Would you be open to doing that? Absolutely. Like, I'm doing them a favor by cutting my fee to do it. And then I end up getting 2 more deals out of it. I've had that happen multiple times over the years,
Yeah, I plus that a little bit, Jeff. I do the same thing. This is a total Craig Proctor thing I learned there, but I do the same thing. And I actually send them a form that it's not legal. I just drew it up on Word that says, hey, because I cut my fee from 3% to 2%, you think it's only 1%. This is verbal. You think it's only 1%, but that's a 33% reduction in my income and my ability to feed my family. So I'm willing to take this 33% hit to get you your home, but I need you to commit to giving me 2 referrals over the next 3 months. Can you do that? Yes. Okay. You'll get a DocuSign here in about 20 minutes that's just stating that. And I'm going to follow up with you every week to see if you got any new referral for me. And the craziest thing is it gets them in the mode of actually creating referrals. And some of my best referral clients have come from doing that document. So.
Good stuff.
Hey, Aaron, where's the majority of your leads coming from? Is it from referrals, or do you have any?
Yeah, I'm still like 60% referral, probably 60 to 65%. And then the rest come from online lead generation, Google ads, IDX services, things like that. I use Commissions Inc., same thing as KV Core. I just don't want to switch to a new program and have to learn something new. I've been with Commissions Inc. for 11 years. So, all right, we want to fly through the rest of this booklet, and then that'll give us, 10, 15 minutes for questions.
Yep.
Because I'm sure there'll be some.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, let me get back onto this. So again, this is page 7. Page 8 is the actual agreement. So once I'm done with page 7, I fold it over to basically the very front. Hopefully, can everybody see my screen? Jeff, I'm relying on you. Yeah, okay. So the cover page, I fold that over. Then I go, okay, what I want to do is spend 5 or 10 minutes on me. That's it. Now, if you have more questions than that, then please ask them. But the one thing I don't print in here, because I don't want it to freak it out, because people start talking agency and all that. That's what we call it in Texas. All that BS is agency stuff. So I don't put it in print. But this is the first thing I talk about because I've already invested 20 minutes on that. So I say it's not printed in here, but you are aware in Texas, there's 2 types of agency. There's actually 3, but it's too complex to get them into the 3rd because we never utilize it. But there's 2 types of agency. There's buyer agency and seller agency. Seller's agency is they have signed a fiduciary relationship or a contract with that listing agent where that listing agent is bound to get them the most amount of money for their house or from any buyer. That's basically what it says in a nutshell. So basically that's any home that's on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, any of the sites that you're doing searches on, they've signed an agreement to whereby they're trying to get the most amount of money. I always like to say, picture a virtual wallet. They're going to try to reach their hand in your wallet and pull out as many dollars as possible. That's what they've already signed an agreement for the seller with. So if you're calling sellers off of sign calls or off of Zillow, know that their number one goal is not to help you or serve you. Their number one goal is to reach into your wallet and extract money. That's it. Okay. Same thing on builders. Everybody at the builder works for the builder. They have an in-house salesperson that's not licensed, so they can get away with some really shady stuff. They have their own lenders. They have their own title company. Why do they have all this? So it makes more money for the builder. Who's concerned about you, the buyer? No one. And what they won't tell you is their commissions that they pay out to other agents already worked into their pricing and their marketing budget. So if they don't have to pay that, they're not going to give it to you. The builder's going to make more money. So always use us when you're talking to builders. And if you do call other agents, just tell them you're working with Aaron or whoever you are, right? The other type of agency is buyer agency. And that's what we want to focus on here, because now that means I've committed to you to that same fiduciary relationship. But instead of someone reaching in your wallet and pulling money out, I'm going to put my hand over that wallet. My sole job is to make sure you save money on a home, or in this crazy market, how do we get you that home? Because sometimes in this market, I know you know it's hot, it's not necessarily saving money on purchase price or terms or what have you. It's actually getting the home, because 6 months from now, you will have received 12 grand in equity. If we miss that home, you've missed that equity potential. So my goal these days is to structure your offer and put you in the place to not only protect you from a seller trying to extract money out of your wallet, but also to get you into that home to where you don't have the issue of getting beat out by other buyers. We're very successful at this. I would say 3 out of every 4 homes that we go in a multiple offer situation on, we get it, even if we're not the best offer, right? So some other things that we offer to you as buyers that maybe no one else will do is right here on this first page. We have what we call our love it or leave it guarantee. Other people call this a lemon law, what have you. If for any reason that you're not satisfied in your home in the first 12 months of buying it, we'll actually come back and purchase your home from you, or we'll sell your home absolutely commission free. Now, how we do that, that's a whole nother training. That's a guaranteed sale program. They got to move up, buy another house. There's a whole bunch of things that have to happen for them to qualify for this, but it makes them feel better, right? No more buyer's cold feet. And when we get that buyer's cold feet thing, we can go, hey, remember, you have that 12-month protection plan where we'll actually come in and sell it for you for free or buy it back from you. We will get you a home warranty. If you ask for a home warranty for a seller, and that's important, you got to ask for it in your initial offer. And in our market, a lot of times we're not asking for that anymore because that's something that the seller will have to pay. We don't want them to not get the home over a home warranty, right? But if you ask for a home warranty and we can't get that negotiated for you, we'll buy you one. Now we're going to buy the lowest level service, what have you, but still it's a protection. And again, makes them feel better. We're going to get you full mortgage approval, which is better than a pre-qualification. We want to get you pre-approved. Now, who are you currently with? And this is a great time to ask, have they talked to lenders? Who are they pre-qualified with? Because if I hear names like Navy Federal, Quicken Loans, all those online breakers, Lending Tree, things like that, I'm going to run for the hills, or they should run for the hills, because they're horrible to work with. And then I talk to them about deadlines, and real estate has no basically negotiable deadlines. Our deadlines are deadlines. If we miss them, you could lose earnest money. And if we do 2% on a $500,000 home, that's 10 grand you would lose. So do you want to lose 10 grand because you can go with Quicken Loans, who promises you this crazy rate, which actually the only way they're going to get there is you actually spending more money to buy it down. But I digress. I want to get you a second opinion. And that's right here. Let's get you a second opinion on that loan. See if our local lender can beat it. Because I know from the listing side, if I got 10 offers on a home and I look who they're pre-approved with and I see Quicken Loans, I'm going to let my seller know that, hey, it's a great offer. It's $2,000 more than the other one. But this offer from Cherry Creek Mortgage is more likely to close and close on time. I think it's well worth your mental suffering to take this $2,000 less offer. So if I do that, I know other agents do that. So let's at least talk to a local lender that has everything in-house. Home Finder Service, that's what we just spent the last 20 minutes on. Our local lender will give you customized loan programs. You'll know if you're going to win with our local guy or stay with Quicken, whoever, you know. Strategic negotiation experience. I've been doing this for 20 years, sold over 3,000 homes. I know what I'm doing to put together the offer together for you to make sure that you get this house or the house that you want. Number 4 is our cancellation guarantee. We guarantee that we will cancel this at any point in time. Now, the only time this doesn't work is if we find you 123 Main Street, you make an offer on it, and then you try to cut me out of the deal, then we're not going to honor that. But at any other time, basically, if you feel like I'm not the best agent for you, I'm not living up to what you say, you can cancel us at any time. We're fired, we walk and go away. We're not going to even ask you a question. Actually, we may ask you one, like, how could we improve? So we don't have that happen the next time. Now, even though we offer this cancellation guarantee, I rarely have people hook us up on this, but this is something that I'll pin them down at the end if I need to. So I say it up front. Now, a lot of times when I go through this and I've gone through the wallet explanation, they're ready to sign. And you can skip right ahead. But for the sake of this webinar, we'll go through everything so people can see exactly what we do. So the next page, so remember this is a booklet, so it's folded out like this. This is on the right-hand page. Basically just goes our 10-point start to finish commitment to service. And I'm not going to read all these things. I'm just going to hit them, you know, really lightly. First thing, smart home buyer strategy. That's what we spent the last 30 minutes doing. We're going to get you fully mortgage approved. We'll send you neighborhood information on homes that you're interested in, including sellers disclosures, research, CMAs on any property that you may have an interest in. CMA is a comparable market analysis. So you know exactly what this home is worth. They're asking 500. But no home in that neighborhood sold for 400, we know we got a problem on our hands, if that's the home you like, right? We'll be the facilitators of your home search. We'll also search other sites that aren't getting sent to you just to see if we've missed something. Now I know people are going to continue to use Redfin and Zillow and all those things. You can do that, but I guarantee you all those properties are going to be in your portal. Number 5, we're going to act in your best interest. Prayer offers on your behalf. Make sure the terms line up and that you do the best that you can do to get the home. And we use those through leading industry negotiation techniques. We work hard to make sure that you get the home that you love. We'll also advise and facilitate all vendor coordination, title companies, lenders, inspectors, you know, so on and so forth, to make sure that you're working with the best of the best. I've been on both sides of the fence, the buyer side and the seller side. I've seen horrible inspectors. I've experienced worse title companies. We make sure you don't go through that pain that I've already been through, right? Number 9, we'll be right next to you at closing. We go to every closing with our clients to make sure they feel comfortable. If I can't be there, a member of my team will. Now, why would I put in all the effort and time? This was a big mindset shift for me. I know in Proctor's program, he's like, don't do anything you can't change the outcome of. Closing is one of those things. I couldn't, so I didn't go. And then I had a football coach that bought like a $600,000 home with me. And I didn't go to the closing. I still, you know, talked to him the day before, sent him the closing gift, all the great stuff you're supposed to do, but I didn't go to the closing. So I talked to him the day after closing and, you know, say, how'd everything go? Are you in the house? So on and so forth. And he goes, everything's okay. And I said, just okay. You know, I thought you got this great house. And he's like, well, I'm going to use a football terminology because I'm a football coach and that's what I do. It's like, we got the ball at the 1 yard line. You march me all the way down to the field. We have it on the opposing team's 1 yard line. There's 3 seconds left. All we have to do is push it over. We pushed it over, scored the touchdown, and you weren't there to celebrate with me. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, like, oh, crap. And I have never received a referral from that guy. And I did an awesome job, but I wasn't there to celebrate with him. And that was a big thing for him. So I've since gone to every single one of my closings or had somebody at a closing if possible. Now, if they're closing out of state or remote, I say I can make myself available through Zoom or what have you, but sometimes it's impossible, but most of the times you want to be there. And then we're going to help you with all post-closing issues. So we have what we call our 1 by 1 by 1 by 4, which is we're going to call them 1 day after closing, 1 week after closing, 1 month after closing, and then 4 times a year. How are you doing with those homes? I call those discovery calls, where I'm actually discovering if there's any issues that I can solve for them. Oh, you know, like we had one the other day, their garage door was supposed to be fixed. We got a receipt that it was fixed. It still doesn't auto reverse. Well, they've got a home warranty. So they called the home warranty, set up the thing. I Venmo'd them $75. That's my fault. Let me take care of it. Well, guess what? I got an awesome review on Google, Google review from them. And I know I'm going to get referrals from that kind of stuff. So that's equity you're building with your people. Don't look at it as an expense. Those are discovery calls. Not just, hey, how you doing? Hey, I want to know about your house. Having any problems, issues, things like that I can help you with, right? So that's that. Next page, we go into a timeline. Some people are more visual. So here's the start of the process. We work our way down and across exactly what you're going to need in a home. Notice the very first thing says, find a home buying advisor you can trust. That's me. That's why we're spending the time here, right? And I make this fun process. But then we're going to go in the bottom right-hand corner. Get your pen out. This is important. Now, why I tell them that is it's getting them writing on this booklet. I've been doing all the writing up to this point. If they start writing on the booklet and taking notes, when I ask them to write for real on my booklet, like their signature, it's no big deal. But if I ask them to take a pen out at the time of signing, it's a big deal. So that's why some of these numbers aren't in here. There's some of the numbers are low because I want them to write. So we go in this, hey, things, we have 1,000 of these printed. We can't have things completely up to date. So some of these items have changed here. So get your pen out. I want to tell you exactly what you can expect out of your pocket. Earnest money is typically 1% to 2%. You said you were going to be buying a $400,000 home. So that's going to be somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000. More if we really think we need to juice up the offer in order to get it. Inspection fee is going to cost you $400 to $700 from a typical inspector. The appraisal fee is $450. That's going to be paid directly to the lender. Sometimes this can be as much as $550, $650 if they have to do rushes. I know that's what they cost in Texas. It may be different in other states. I don't know. Option fee, that's our time to inspect the property. We pay the seller directly. Again, it could be different in different states, but that's $100 to $300. Typically now 300 is the minimum. We can go up to $1,000 on this, right? So they're writing all these notes, which is awesome. Then I go through, I'm not going to bore you with this, and I tell them that. I'm not going to bore you with how to make an offer. Just know we have how we make our offers right here and here. And this will be the process we're going to take when you do find the right house. But this is extremely important, and I want you to circle this. We are in a seller's market. There's 3 types of market: buyer's market, seller's market, and a balanced market. We are in a seller's market and have been for several years. 3 months of inventory says seller's market. 3 months. We're at 1.2 months of inventory. So this is a super hot, red hot, white hot seller's market, meaning you have to be pre-approved and ready to make a decision quickly. If you tell me one of these things when you find the home that you love, we need to go home and talk about it or think about it. You're going to think about the next home because you're going to lose that one, because homes are only lasting 2 or 3 days, right? So there's a small inventory of homes, many buyers, and I have them underline this stuff, and homes sell quickly. So you have to make decisions quickly, and conditional offers may be rejected. So if you have to sell a house, if you have to get pre-approved, not pre-qualified, get that stuff done first so you can make a strong offer that isn't conditional. Like we have a lender in town that they do everything, including underwriting, except for an appraisal because we don't have a house yet for the buyer, and they can close as little as 12 days. They're fully pre-approved. All we need is an appraisal. So they can close literally 5 days after appraisal. Awesome, right? We hand that, and somebody asked that question of how do you get your offers accepted? Well, when you can tell the seller, hey, we can close in as little as 12 days, and we'll let you lease the house back for 30 days after that, because I know you need to have some moving time for free. Guess whose offer gets accepted, even if it's not as good? Mine, because they get the cash they need now instead of 30 days from now, right? Balance market, that's basically when we're in 3 to 6 months of inventory range, or 6 months. 6 months or more is typically a buyer's market. We probably won't see that for a little while. This is the right-hand page. It's basically glossary of real estate terms. So you got a question of all these things I've said. I know I've been spending about 40 minutes with you now, and we've been firing things back and forth. I'm sure you have questions like, what the heck's earnest money? I've heard him say that. Well, here it is. So if you ever have any questions when I'm talking to you, refer to this. Like I said, you're going to get a copy. So you can take this with you. So if I ever say anything you're not aware of what it is, here it is. And if you have any questions from there on, you just ask. So the very last page is our VIP buyer agreement. Basically, that's everything we've just discussed. We're going to do all 12 of these things for you, right? We're going to help arrange showings of private properties, new construction for sale by owner. And I just hit, a couple of these. We'll be available at any time to have any questions you have to ask. You're under no obligation at any time to buy any property. Plus you get the home warranty protection, buyer satisfaction guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. So if you decide, yeah, Aaron's the best guy, and then you walk out this door and you talk to each other and say, Aaron was an idiot, text me and say you're fired. And it's good. We're good to go at any time from the time you walk out of this door. Now, when I get here, I never have a problem getting them to sign. Now you'll see here, you understand that a fee of at least 3.5%. This is when I used to ask for 3.5% when 3% was the standard. Now the standard's kind of moved down to 2.5%. So we've kind of adjusted to 3, but I've kept it in my booklet. So if I ever want to ask for extra, I can. If they ever bring this up, 3.5%, I thought the average was 3. There is no average. That's what's called price fixing. I just want to get what I'm due or earn my fee. But I'm never going to charge you for my fee. And I'm never going to let it stand in the way of getting the deal done. Plus, you get the 12 services lined out above, and you allow me to put a sold sign on your property for 4 weeks following the settlement. Because guess what? A buyer goes and buys a listing, right? What does that listing agent do? They leave their sign in the yard, or most of them, and they never put sold on it because they want to get buyer calls. And if I put sold, no one's going to call on it. Well, their sign goes out of the yard. My sold sign comes in the yard in one day. And who does it look like sold that home in one day? I look like the hero, even though I didn't sell the home as the listing agent. I brought the buyer, right? And then all I ask is your authorization on this so we can work with you and I can keep your money in your wallet. Does that sound okay? I just need your authorization at the bottom. I never say sign. I never say signature because those are scary words. Authorization is what I use. And then I sign. I have my booklet. I give them their booklet and we're off to start shopping. So that's it in a nutshell. Easy peasy.
Hey, Aaron, that was outstanding. I had a question on your checklist on the option at the end. Could you elaborate what that was? I didn't understand that.
Checklist. Let me go back to it. Hold on. So you can point me in the right direction. Which one?
Not go up, not on that one. Not on that one. Not on that one. Down here go down. It's in that square box.
Yeah. So we have,
Right
is
here,
it
that
talking about
option
option fee?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
option fee in Texas is our buyers have to pay the seller a fee to take the property off the market, basically. So we can do our inspections and due diligence.
Okay.
It's called an option fee, termination option.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
This will be posted.
Yeah, I'm going to post the recording of this in the Freedom Team group, and then Aaron is going to upload that document as a file up there. Now it's a PDF, Aaron. So
Yeah, it's a PDF. I looked for the original and I can't find it anywhere. So the best suggestion I would have is go to Fiverr, FIVERR.com, and say, hey, can someone create or edit this PDF into a Word document or Canva or something like that. I know in Canva, you could probably just take it and cover my logo with your logo and you're off to the races.
you can.
I do want to
adjust that.
encourage everybody. Great job, Aaron. I want to encourage everybody. If you were here live this week, even though we're going to record them and post them somewhere, the feeling of being here live when he's doing it and having the ability to interact, if you have a question, is huge. So, don't discount the idea that this should be in your calendar on a weekly basis, as others like Aaron will come by and produce. time after time after again. Again, Aaron, great job. Jeff, thanks for setting it up.
Thanks.
For sure. Thank you. Little nuggets, guys. I mean, and we'll set up another one of these, go through like the buyer guarantee, you know, the satisfaction guarantee. I used that for a long time. That was huge for us. We could talk about that. We could do another training on that. Just different things we've learned over the years. I mean, obviously Aaron's done it for a long, long time, has a huge team down there doing awesome. You know, that little thing, putting that sold sign in the yard after closing, you know, just think about that. I mean, let them agree to be able to do that. Put that in there for 30 days and just pick up more buyers, sellers, you know, out of that. I mean, little nuggets like that can just add, you know, more closings to your business without question. So that people don't think about, you know, some of the stuff we learned over the years, all that coaching stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You forget where you learn. A lot of times you learn it at the bar, not even from the coaches.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So guys, any other questions? We'll wrap it up here. You know, if you have any, and you know, the other thing too is just obviously in the group, when I post this up, if you want to put any comments on there, we're building that group, the Freedom Team page. So, you know, the more activity, guys, if you see something that like, yeah, well, here's an article I read that, man, you know, people need to see this. We want that page to be, again, 99% of it real estate related, not EXP, not agent attraction, none of that. We do our agent attraction training on Monday nights for those that want to come. Okay. Up to you. That's on Monday nights. We'll do this every Tuesday morning. Of course, EXP, you know, there's tons of training every week. I will tell you guys one that you want to get in on is Friday mornings, 9:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern is the iConversations. You know, getting 3 or 4 icon agents together where they just go over and discuss things, and it's powerful stuff there. Okay. You know, so there's so much opportunity here to take your business up a notch, and we want to help kind of pour into our team, our group, in addition to everything that EXP is offering. So that page, the more we can, you know, interact on there and post things and comment on things, whatever like that, that's just going to help over time as well. I know people are using Facebook than Workplace. Workplace is great, but we're just not used to going there, some of us. So yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
And I know, you know, all of us that have been in the business a long time, me especially, I'm committed to people going in there and asking questions. I'm more than happy to give you what I do or what I've seen successful in our area or our business, or what things to stay away from. You know, so it's okay if you have questions on your business or product, you know, hey, I got pitched this thing because I've probably spent thousands of dollars on crap that doesn't work. Like, I'll keep those to myself, but I can tell you not to waste your money on Smart Zip, for instance, you know, or things like that. So, you know, those things are important. So you don't waste money, or you make money on those things if you do want to invest in the back end lead generation and stuff like that.
For sure. Hopefully you guys see it. I mean, you can understand, like, you know, you get a buyer lead, you get a call off a sign from a listing, you know, whatever it might be. If you can get them to meet with you either on Zoom or with a coffee, again, like he said, a neutral location, and you go through what he just did, how do they not sign up with you to work with you? You got a buyer, you know, and they're going to work with you. They're not going to cancel. I've probably had a few people, but it's so rare that somebody actually takes advantage of that cancellation guarantee. It's just peace of mind for them that they're not locked in. And I tell them, like, look, if I don't do my job, you should fire me. You know,
it's risk reversal.
Yeah.
You want to do that on both your buyers and your sellers. You need
Absolutely.
to take away all the risk from them as you can, so that they're comfortable signing a piece of paper, right?
Right.
So you want to reverse the risk.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Brian.
When if you do a Zoom or you don't meet the client in person, are you sending them just that doc?
Yeah.
The docs? Okay. And just reviewing it on Zoom, share screening and
Share screen and then DocuSign. Yeah. And
okay.
they'll DocuSign it right on
Okay.
camera.
DocuSign. That was my question. That was what I was wanting to know. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure. Any other questions, guys? Anything? Sean?
Yeah, I want to echo again what you were just saying earlier about interacting. For everybody that was on here, because to me, that was impressive to go on there and make comments. Let's get that interaction going big time. So all those who did not attend, the moment they go over there, if you tag them, they see us going back and forth and responding. If we can get that kind of activity, we're really going to help a lot of these newer agents start coming back here and knowing they can ask questions we're going to answer, or just make comments about what you thought about it. So they're immediately going to want to go watch the video. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing that we can do is start interacting on this site.
For sure.
So thanks, Aaron. Dude, that was awesome, brother. Really was.
You're welcome.
This was awesome. I've been disappointed in buyer presentations that I've seen online and whatever. This is the only one to me that makes sense. This is really, really valuable stuff, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're
This is
welcome.
great.
Cool.
Thanks, Aaron.
So guys, thank you very much. I'll have this posted here soon. Interact on there. We'll have another one next Tuesday. I'll let you know what's going on. We'll post that later this week. Get something created there. We'll get Aaron on here again to do some more stuff. There's plenty we could talk about as we go through all this. So
Jeff, do we have next Tuesday lined up by chance?
Not 100%. There's like 3 or 4 different agents. We're going back and forth on timing and just their schedules and stuff. So we'll get it. I'm going to get it scheduled out for 3 or 4 weeks in advance. We're working on that. So
cool.
For sure. We'll have that here in the next day or 2. So, okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Guys, thank you. Aaron, thank you
Thanks.
very much. It was awesome.
Yep.
Good stuff. Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye.
Aaron.
Steve. Yeah.